Opel Calibra. The Opel Calibra is a coupe, engineered and produced by the German automaker Opel between 1989 and 1997. In the United Kingdom, where it remained on sale until 1999, it was marketed under the Vauxhall brand as the Vauxhall Calibra. It was also marketed as the Chevrolet Calibra in South America by Chevrolet, and the Holden Calibra in Australia and New Zealand by Holden. The Calibra was introduced to counter the Japanese sports coupes of the end of the 1980s and beginning of the 1990s. It employs the running gear of the first generation Opel Vectra, which had been launched in October 1988. Calibra production was based in the Opel factory in Ersalsheim, Germany, and the Vauxhall Automotive factory in Ysakapunki, Finland, where production was consolidated in November 1995. The Calibra was initially only available with front-wheel drive, but from November 1990, four-wheel drive became available. The Opel Calibra was styled by GM's designer Wayne Cherry, and German designer Erhard Schnell. As a front-wheel drive three-door hatchback coupe based on the Vectra chassis, its ride and handling are not significantly better than that of the large family car from which it grew. Though it had a stiffer chassis as a whole, better torsional rigidity in NM/DUG. The 4WD turbo version of the car, which had independent rear suspension, featured the rear axle of the Omega with some minor alterations to it. When launched on June 10, 1989, the Calibra was the most aerodynamic production car in the world, with a drag coefficient, CD, of 0.26. It remained the most aerodynamic mass production car for the next 10 years, until the Honda Insight was launched in November 1999, with a CD of 0.25. All later 16 volts, V6, 4x4 and turbo models had a worse CD of 0.29, due to changes in cooling system, underbody, use of spoked wheels and glass detail. During its lifetime, the Calibra was much more popular in Europe, and outsold its nearest rival, the Ford Probe, which was considered to be underpowered, and very American for most European drivers. However, in the United Kingdom, it failed to outsell the Rover 200 Coupe, which offered comparable performance, but without 4WD in the top-of-the-range models. Sales commenced in June 1990. In July 1990, after General Motors bought a stake in Saab, it was reported the Calibra would be badged as a Saab in the United States, but these plans did not materialize. There were also plans for a cabriolet version to be produced, but these two failed to materialize, although Vauxhall Automotive built two fully working, red-colored prototypes in 1992, with a 2.0-liter, 8-valve engine. A third body was also produced for use in flexibility tests. In the summer of 1994, the Calibra received a light facelift. Most noticeably, the manufacturer badge migrated from its place atop the leading edge of the bonnet into the front grille. Throughout the production run, several special models were launched. In the United Kingdom, this began with the Tickford conversion in October 1991, however, only 26 Calibras were ever converted. This was followed by Vauxhall's own special edition range, the SE1 in 1993, and ran through to the SE9 in 1997. These limited run editions had often unique aspects. For example, solar yellow paint on the SE2, or Icelandic blue on the SE6. Neither colors were found on any other Calibra. There was also a Key Crossberg edition available only in white, in celebration of the Calibra's success in the German Touring Car Championship at the time. In other parts of Europe, special models included the DTM edition, the Cliff edition, the Kohler edition and Last edition. Some special models included a numbered plaque on the ashtray. The Vectra was replaced in September 1995, but Calibra production continued until June 1997. Although a smaller coupe, the Tigra, was available, the marque was left without a mid-sized coupe until the Astra coupe was launched in the spring of 2000, and with the introduction of the Opel Speedster in July 2000, 3 years after the Calibra was discontinued, Opel finally offered a sports car again. Power was initially from 2.0-liter 8-valve, 85 kilowatts/115 bhp C20 and a Cosworth-designed 16-valve fuel-injected, 110 kilowatts/150 bhp C20s, 4-cylinder red-top petrol engines. For 1992, a turbocharged 2.0-liter 16-valve engine, 150 kilowatts/204 bhp C20 LET, the turbocharged version of the C20s, was added to the range. With 4-wheel drive, a 6-speed Getrag manual transmission, F28/6, and a claimed top speed of 245 km per hour, 152 miles per hour, this flagship model finally gave the Calibra the dynamics to match its looks. The turbo model was also notable for the 5-stud wheel hubs and the extreme negative camber, inward lean, of its rear wheels, which is apparent even from a cursory visual inspection. However, it was not a strong seller. In 1993, a 125 kilowatts/168 horsepower 2.5-liter V6, C25s or SE4, was introduced. Available with both manual and automatic transmissions, the V6 was not as fast as the turbo, but was rather more civilized, and proved to be more reliable than the complex 4-wheel drive model. 1995 saw the introduction of the X20's of Ecotec engine, a new version of the classic C20's 16-valve or red-top engine. This marked a reduction in power from 150 bhp, 112 kilowatts, to 136 bhp, 101 kilowatts, for the 16-valve version, although the turbo continued with the C20 LET. The last Calibra turbos were produced in the beginning of 1997, before a final run of Calibra Turbo limited editions were rolled out. These were all finished in jet black paintwork with Rumser spoiler, BBS RX 16 inches alloys and color-coded body fittings. This final incarnation was also lowered by 35 mm on Rumser springs and dampers. The interior was heated green leather, with a steering wheel trimmed in gray leather and a plaque showing the build number mounted on the center console.